Blood dripped from Serena's split lip onto the white tile floor. Damien's fist had connected before she even saw it coming. 3 years of controlling her, isolating her, breaking her down piece by piece. And tonight, he had finally crossed the line she swore he had never crossed. When his hands wrapped around her throat, something inside her snapped. She grabbed the wine bottle, the glass shattered against his temple. And while he stumbled, cursing and bleeding, she ran, barefoot, no phone, no keys. Just raw survival instinct leading her to an underground parking garage where a black sedan sat with its trunk slightly open. She climbed inside. The trunk closed. The car started moving. And 3 hours later, when that trunk opened in a country she'd never been to, a Korean man in an expensive suit looked down at her with eyes colder than death and said 4 words that changed everything. Who sent you here? Welcome to Melanin Meets Soul, my loves. Please like, share, and subscribe. The punch came out of nowhere. Serena's head snapped back, cracking against the kitchen cabinet. Pain exploded across her face. Warm blood filled her mouth. You think you can leave me? Damien's voice was quiet, that terrifying quiet that meant he was past yelling, past threats. You think I would let you just walk away? Serena's vision swam. She touched her mouth. Her fingers came away red. He had split her lip. Actually split it. In 3 years, he had never hit her face before. Arms, yes. Ribs, yes. Places she could hide with long sleeves and careful movements. But never her face. Never where people could see. This was different. This was him not caring anymore. Who knew? Damien, please. Her voice shook. I just said I needed space. I didn't say I was leaving. Don't lie to me. He grabbed her throat, slammed her back against the counter. His fingers dug into her windpipe. I saw the suitcase. I saw the apartment listings on your laptop. You were planning to disappear. Thought I wouldn't notice? Serena clawed at his hands, couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. His face was red, twisted with rage, and his grip was tightening. She was going to die. At the hands of the man who'd promised to love her forever. Black spots danced in her vision. Her hand scrambled across the counter. Found something glass. Heavy. The wine bottle they'd opened at dinner. Serena swung with everything she had. The bottle connected with Damien's temple. Glass shattered. Wine and blood sprayed across the kitchen. He dropped her. Serena collapsed, gasping, choking, her throat on fire. Damien stumbled backward, hand pressed to his head, blood pouring between his fingers. You bitch! He lunged for her. Serena ran, out of the kitchen, through the living room. Her bare feet slipped on the hardwood, but she caught herself on the doorframe. Damien was behind her, cursing, footsteps heavy and uneven. She yanked open the apartment door and ran, into the hallway, past Mrs. Chen's door, past the elevator, too slow he'd catch her, to the stairwell. Serena flew down the stairs. 5 flights. Her lungs burned. Her face throbbed. Blood from her split lip dripped down her chin. Behind her, Damien's voice echoed in the stairwell. Serena, get back here. You're making this worse. She hit the ground floor and burst into the lobby. The night security guard looked up, startled. Help! Serena tried to say, but her throat was too damaged. Nothing came out but a rasp. Damien crashed through the stairwell door. Blood covered half his face. He saw the security guard and immediately shifted. His expression smoothed. His voice went calm, concerned. Thank God you stopped her. She's having an episode off her medication. He reached for Serena. Come on, baby. Let's get you back upstairs. No! Serena's voice finally worked, broken and raw but audible. She backed away from both of them. He tried to kill me. Call the police, please. She's not well, Damien told the guard. I'm her fiancé. She gets confused when she doesn't take her pills. The guard looked between them, uncertain. Serena saw the calculation in his eyes, saw him looking at Damien's expensive suit, his calm demeanor, his bleeding head that Serena had clearly caused. Then looking at Serena, barefoot, no phone, wild-eyed, blood on her mouth. The guard was going to believe Damien. Serena ran again, through the lobby, out the front doors, into the Chicago night, October, cold. She was wearing pajama shorts and a thin tank top. No shoes, no coat, nothing. Behind her, Damien shouted her name. Serena ran across the street. A car honked, brakes squealed. She kept running. Into the parking garage attached to the luxury condos next door. The gate was open for a delivery truck. Serena slipped through. The garage was massive, underground, dimly lit, rows of expensive cars. Footsteps echoed behind her. Damien had followed her in. Serena, stop running! His voice bounced off concrete. You're only making this harder on yourself. Serena ducked between cars. Her feet were bleeding from running on pavement. Her whole body shook. She needed to hide, needed to think, She saw it, a black sedan. Sleek, expensive-looking, European plates she didn't recognize. And the trunk was open, just barely. Like someone had closed it, but the latch hadn't caught. Serena didn't think. She ran to the car, glanced over her shoulder. Damien was 2 rows away searching, and climbed into the trunk. She pulled it closed as quietly as she could. The latch clicked. Darkness swallowed her. Inside, the trunk was surprisingly spacious, lined with soft material. It smelled like leather and something expensive. Some kind of cologne, maybe. Serena curled into the smallest ball she could manage. Her heart hammered so hard she was sure Damien would hear it. Outside, his footsteps grew closer. "I know you're in here, Serena." His voice was sing-song. Now, playful, which was worse than angry. "Come out and we'll forget this happened. I'll take you back, get you cleaned up. We'll work through this together like we always do." Serena pressed her hand over her mouth, trying not to make a sound, trying not to breathe too loud. Damien's footsteps stopped right next to the car. "Come on, baby. Don't be difficult." Silence. Serena counted her heartbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. The footsteps moved away. She waited, counted to 100, then 200. Nothing. Maybe he'd given up. Maybe he thought she'd gotten out of the garage. Maybe the car's engine started. Serena's whole body went rigid. No, 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 no. The car began to move. Panic flooded her system. She should call out, bang on the trunk. Let whoever was driving know she was here. But what if Damien heard? What if he was still in the garage? What if opening this trunk got her caught? Serena stayed quiet, frozen, telling herself the car was just moving to a different spot, that it would stop and she could slip out. The car didn't stop. It drove and drove and drove. All through the time, Serena's body ached. The trunk was spacious enough that she wasn't cramped, but lying in the same position for however long she had been in there made everything hurt. Her phone was in the apartment, along with her shoes, her coat, her wallet, everything. She had nothing. The car had been moving steadily for what felt like forever. No stops, just smooth driving at what felt like highway speed. Where were they going? Serena tried to think, tried to make sense of this. She'd climbed into a random car to hide from Damien. The owner had gotten in and driven away without checking the trunk. The smart thing would have been to make noise right away, to reveal herself when the car first started. But she'd been too terrified, too focused on staying hidden from Damien. Now she was stuck in a stranger's trunk, going God knows where. The car slowed, stopped. Serena's breath caught. Finally. She'd wait until the driver got out. Then she'd try to open the trunk from inside. Most modern cars had emergency releases. The car started moving again, faster this time. Not a destination, a stoplight, or a toll booth. Serena's throat tightened. The air in the trunk felt thinner. Her chest hurt. The adrenaline was fading and exhaustion was setting in. She needed water. Her throat was raw from Damien's hands. Her face throbbed where he'd hit her. The car drove on. Serena drifted in and out of consciousness. The motion of the car was almost hypnotic. The darkness was absolute. Her body had gone numb from being in the same position. She thought about Damien, about the 3 years she'd wasted believing he'd change, believing that the good days outweighed the bad, that his apologies meant something. Tonight had proven otherwise. He'd tried to kill her. Actually tried. If she went back, he'd finish the job. Serena's eyes burned, but she had no tears left, just a hollow exhaustion that felt like drowning. The car's motion changed, slowing, turning. The road surface changed too, smoother, like they'd gone from highway to private drive. Finally, they were stopping. Serena waited, listening. The engine cut off. A car door opened and closed. Footsteps, multiple footsteps, more than one person. Voices, men's voices, speaking in a language Serena didn't understand. Not Spanish, not French, something Asian sounding. Korean, maybe, or Japanese. Dread pooled in her stomach. The voices moved away. Silence. Serena counted to 50. Then carefully, quietly, she felt around the trunk interior, looking for the emergency release latch. Most trunks had them. Glowing handles that her fingers found something. A latch. She pulled. Nothing happened. She pulled harder. The latch moved, but the trunk didn't open. Locked. The emergency release was disabled or broken. Panic clawed up her throat. She was trapped. Actually trapped. Serena tried to stay calm. Think. The people would come back eventually. She'd explain. They'd understand it was a mistake. Unless they didn't. Unless they thought she was a thief. Or worse. Serena's breathing came faster. The air felt even thinner now. How long had she been in here? 2 hours? 3? Was there enough air? Could you suffocate in a trunk? She forced herself to take slow breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Don't panic, don't. The trunk opened. Light exploded into the space. Serena threw her arm over her eyes, squinting, blinking against the brightness. A man stood silhouetted against overhead lights, tall, broad-shouldered, holding something in his hand. A gun, pointed directly at her face. He spoke in Korean, rapid, sharp, a question or a command. Serena's voice came out broken. I don't understand. He spoke again. Same language, harsher this time. I don't speak Korean. Serena's hands shook as she raised them. Please, I'm sorry, I didn't mean... Another man appeared beside the first, younger, also armed. He spoke to the first man in rapid Korean. The first man, the one holding the gun on her, cut him off with a single word, then switched to English. Get out. His accent was thick, but his English was clear, and his tone left no room for argument. Serena tried to move. Her legs were stiff, cramping. She'd been curled in the trunk for 3 hours. Everything hurt. She managed to get her torso up, swung her legs over the edge of the trunk. Her bare feet touched concrete, and when she tried to stand, her legs gave out. She collapsed. Would have hit the ground if the younger man hadn't caught her arm. He said something in Korean. His tone was almost gentle. The first man, the one with the gun, wasn't gentle at all. He stepped closer, and now that Serena's eyes had adjusted to the light, she could see him clearly. Korean, early 30s maybe, pale skin, sharp, angular face, dark eyes that looked at her like she was an insect under a microscope. Expensive black suit, no tie. His hair was styled perfectly despite whatever time it was. He was devastatingly handsome and absolutely terrifying. Who are you? He said. Not a question, a demand. Serena Ease. I'm American. I was hiding in Chicago and I climbed into your trunk by accident and... Accident. He repeated the word like it was a lie. You accidentally climbed into my private vehicle, which was parked in a restricted diplomatic garage, and you stayed silent for 3 hours while we crossed an international border. International border. The words hit Serena like ice water. What? Her voice came out barely a whisper. You are in Seoul, South Korea. You entered this country illegally, in my vehicle. His eyes never left hers. And you expect me to believe this was an accident? Seoul, South Korea. Serena's vision swam. That's impossible. I was in Chicago 3 hours ago. I climbed into a car in Chicago. My car, which has full diplomatic immunity and crosses borders without inspection. He tilted his head slightly. Very convenient that you chose this specific vehicle, almost like someone told you exactly which car would get you into South Korea without being detected. No. Serena tried to stand again. The younger man steadied her. No one sent me. I was running from my ex-boyfriend. He tried to kill me. I just needed to hide, and I saw your trunk open, and I climbed in. Show me your identification. Serena's stomach dropped. I don't have any. I don't have my phone or my wallet or anything. I ran in my pajamas. She gestured to herself. Tank top, shorts, bare feet. Blood still on her chin from her split lip. The man's eyes swept over her, clinical, assessing. He spoke to the younger man in Korean. The younger man responded, then produced a phone and made a call. Rapid Korean. The first man crouched down so he was eye level with Serena. This close, she could see the exact shade of his eyes, dark brown, almost black, cold as winter. My name is Gaeum Tae-jin. I control most of the underground operations in Seoul. 3 rival organizations want me dead. 2 government agencies want me arrested. And you appeared in my trunk after a 3-hour drive across an international border. He smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Who sent you here? No one. Tears burned Serena's eyes. I swear to God, no one sent me. My boyfriend, Damien Pierce. He tried to strangle me. I hit him with a wine bottle and ran. I hid in your trunk. That's the truth. I swear that's the truth. Jum Tae-jin studied her face for a long moment, then stood, spoke to the younger man in Korean. The younger man pulled out zip ties. No! Serena tried to back away. Please don't. You entered my country illegally. You may be a spy, an assassin, or you may be telling the truth. Jum Tae-jin's voice was flat. Until I verify your story, you're a security risk, and I don't take risks. The younger man approached. Serena looked around wildly. They were in some kind of private garage, massive, filled with expensive cars, no windows, one elevator. Security cameras in every corner. No escape. She held out her wrists because what choice did she have? The younger man zip-tied her hands in front of her, not tight enough to cut off circulation, but secure enough that she couldn't slip free. Jum Tae-jin turned toward the elevator. Bring her. The younger man took Serena's arm, guided her forward. Her bare feet were silent on the concrete. Her whole body shook. This couldn't be real. This couldn't be happening. She'd escaped Damien only to end up kidnapped by a Korean mafia boss in a country she'd never been to, with no way to prove who she was. The elevator doors opened. They stepped inside. Jum Tae-jin pressed a button. The doors closed. Serena watched the numbers climb. 23rd floor, 24th, 25th. The elevator stopped on the 30th floor. The doors opened into a hallway that looked like it belonged in a luxury hotel. Marble floors, expensive art on the walls, floor-to-ceiling windows showing a glittering cityscape. Seoul. She was actually in Seoul. They walked her down the hallway to a door at the end. Jum Tae-jin unlocked it with a keycard and pushed it open. Inside was a bedroom, king-size bed, attached bathroom, modern furniture. But the windows were narrow and high, and when Jum Tae-jin closed the door behind them, Serena heard the heavy clunk of reinforced locks. A prison dressed as a guest room. You'll stay here until I verify your story. Jum Tae-jin gestured to the closet. There are clothes, toiletries in the bathroom. Don't bother trying the windows. They're bulletproof, and don't open. Don't try the door. It's reinforced steel, and Mincio will be stationed outside. He nodded to the younger man. Mincio. If your story checks out, I'll arrange your return to America. Jum Tae-jin's eyes were still cold, still calculating. If you're lying, you'll disappear. No one will ever find you. No one will ever know what happened. Do you understand? Serena's throat was too tight to speak. She nodded. Good. He turned to leave. Wait. Serena's voice cracked. How long? How long will it take to verify? Jum Tae-jin paused in the doorway, looked back at her over his shoulder. As long as it takes. The door closed. Locks engaged with heavy metallic clicks. Serena stood in the center of the luxury prison and finally let herself cry. Serena didn't sleep all through the night. She'd tried. The bed was comfortable, the room was temperature controlled, but every time she closed her eyes, she saw Damien's face, felt his hands around her throat. Or worse, she saw Jum Tae-jin's cold eyes, heard his voice promising she'd disappear if she was lying. She wasn't lying. But would he believe her? Could he even verify her story from South Korea? As dawn light filtered through the high windows, Serena finally gave up on sleep. She went into the bathroom, looked at herself in the mirror. Her face was a mess. Her lip was swollen where Damien had split it. Dark bruises were forming on her throat in the shape of his fingers. Her eyes were bloodshot from crying. She looked like a victim, which she was. But would Jum Tae-jin see that, or would he see a threat? Serena turned on the shower, let the water heat up, stripped off her tank top and shorts. They were stained with blood and wine from last night's fight. The shower was luxury, multiple heads, perfect water pressure, expensive soap and shampoo. Serena stood under the hot water and let it wash away the blood, the grime, the physical evidence of the worst night of her life. But it couldn't wash away the fear. When she finally turned off the water, she found thick towels folded on the heated rack. She wrapped herself in one and went to the closet. Inside were clothes, women's clothes, different sizes. Like this room was designed to hold prisoners of various shapes. How many women had Jum Tae-jin locked in here? Serena pushed the thought away. Found clothes that fit, jeans, a soft sweater, everything was high quality, expensive brands. She dressed, dried her hair with the provided hairdryer, looked at herself in the mirror again. She looked almost normal now, if you didn't see the bruises, if you didn't know she was a prisoner in a foreign country. A knock on the door made her jump. Get away from the door, a male voice said in accented English. Men Seo. Serena stepped back. The locks disengaged. The door opened. Mainseo stood in the hallway holding a tray. Food, toast, eggs, fruit, coffee. "Breakfast," he said. Then set the tray on the small table near the window and left. The door locked behind him. Serena stared at the food. She should eat. She hadn't eaten since lunch yesterday. But her stomach was too twisted with anxiety. She forced herself to eat the toast, drink the coffee. She needed to keep her strength up. An hour later, Minseo returned for the tray. He didn't speak, just collected it and left. Serena sat on the bed, waiting. For what, she didn't know. The morning stretched into afternoon. No one came, nothing happened. Serena paced the room, examined every inch. The windows really didn't open. The door really was reinforced steel. There was no phone, no TV, no way to contact anyone. She was completely isolated. By evening, panic was setting in. How long would they keep her here? What if they couldn't verify her story? What if Damien had reported her missing? Would that help or hurt her case? What if Jum Tae-jin decided she was lying? Serena was spiraling when the door opened again. It wasn't Minseo this time. It was Jum Tae-jin. He stepped into the room and closed the door behind him. He was still in a suit, still perfectly composed, but his tie was loosened and his sleeves were rolled up. It was the first time he'd looked even slightly disheveled. "We verified your story," he said without preamble. Serena's legs nearly gave out with relief. "So you believe me?" "I believe you climbed into my trunk to escape an abusive ex-boyfriend. That doesn't mean I trust you." His eyes were still cold. "You're still a security risk. You know who I am now. You know where I live. You've seen my face, my vehicles, my security protocols. I won't tell anyone. I swear." Everyone says that. Jum Tae-jin stepped closer. And yet information always leaks. People always talk, especially when motivated by fear, or money, or revenge. Serena's heart hammered. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying you can't go home yet." The words hit her like a physical blow. "What? But you just said—" "I said I verified your story. I didn't say I'm letting you leave." He was close now, close enough that Serena had to tilt her head back to maintain eye contact. "Your ex-boyfriend is still looking for you. Chicago police are investigating a domestic disturbance at your apartment, and you're flagged in the U.S. system as missing." "Then help me." Serena's voice broke. "You have resources. You said you control underground operations. Help me get home safely." "Why would I do that?" His voice was soft, dangerous. "What's in it for me?" Serena stared at him. I don't understand." "You're a liability. The smart play is to eliminate you." He tilted his head slightly. "But my people found something interesting when they investigated your background. You speak 4 languages. You have a degree in international business. You worked as a translator for a multinational corporation before Damien isolated you and convinced you to quit." "How do you know that?" "I know everything about you, Serena, is your birth certificate, your school records, your employment history, your medical files, your therapist's notes about your relationship with Damien. Everything." Serena felt sick. "You had no right. I had every right. You invaded my property, my security, my country." His eyes never left hers. "And now I'm going to make you useful." "What does that mean?" "It means you're going to work for me, translate, coordinate international shipments, handle communications with our European and African partners." His voice was matter-of-fact, like he was discussing a business contract, not someone's life. "In exchange, I'll keep you safe from your ex-boyfriend. I'll provide housing, security, a salary, everything you need." "And if I refuse?" "Then I put you on a plane back to Chicago tonight, and you can take your chances with Damien, or with a police investigation, or with whoever else might be interested in a woman who illegally entered South Korea in a Mafia boss's trunk." He smiled, cold, calculating. "Your choice." It wasn't a choice. It was an ultimatum. Serena's hands clenched into fists. "How long? 6 months? 6 months? Long enough for things to settle in Chicago, for Damien to lose interest, for the investigation to close, for you to disappear from everyone's radar." He pulled a phone from his pocket, extended it toward her. "And long enough for me to decide if you're actually useful, or if you're better off dead." Serena took the phone with shaking hands. "You're blackmailing me." "I'm giving you options, which is more than most people in your situation get." He turned toward the door. "You start tomorrow. Mainseo will brief you on your duties. Don't try to run. Don't try to contact anyone in America. Don't do anything stupid. Understood?" Serena wanted to scream, to refuse, to fight, but she was trapped in a foreign country with no money, no passport, no way home. And the man who'd tried to kill her was waiting in Chicago. Understood, she whispered. Jum Tae-jin nodded once, then left, the door locked behind him. Serena sat on the bed and stared at the phone in her hands. It was locked, probably monitored, useless for anything except what he wanted her to use it for. She'd escaped one prison only to end up in another. But this time, the bars were invisible, and the warden was far more dangerous than Damien had ever been. Serena's new life was surreal. By day, she worked in Jum Tae-jin's organization, translating documents, coordinating calls with international partners. Her languages, English, French, Spanish, and passable Mandarin, made her valuable. The work itself wasn't difficult, but knowing what she was translating made her stomach turn. Shipment manifests that were clearly coded drug routes, financial documents that were obviously money laundering, communications about merchandise that she suspected were women being trafficked. She was working for a criminal organization, actually working for them. But what choice did she have? The building she lived and worked in was a fortress. Security everywhere. Armed guards, cameras, reinforced doors. She had slightly more freedom now. She could leave her room during designated hours, eat in the communal kitchen, use the gym. But there was always someone watching, and Jum Tae-jin was always watching most of all. He appeared randomly, checking her work, asking questions, testing her. Sometimes his visits were brief, a minute or two, just long enough to make sure she was complying. Other times he'd sit in her workspace for an hour, silent, just watching her translate documents while his presence filled the room like smoke. It was unnerving, the way he looked at her, like he was constantly reassessing whether she was an asset or a threat. On the third night, Serena was in the communal kitchen making tea when Jum Tae-jin walked in. She tensed. She couldn't help it. Every time he appeared, her body went on high alert. He didn't acknowledge her at first, just went to the coffee machine, made espresso. The silence stretched. Finally, without looking at her, he said, "You're doing adequate work." It wasn't a compliment, just an observation. "Thank you," Serena said quietly. "Don't thank me. You're paying off a debt." She bit her tongue, didn't respond. Jum Tae-jin took his espresso and turned to leave, then paused. "The bruises on your neck are fading." Serena's hand automatically went to her throat. The bruises from Damien's hands were turning yellow-green now, almost gone. "They are," she said. "Good." He took a sip of espresso. "Can't have my translator looking like someone tried to strangle her. Bad for business." And he left. Serena stood in the kitchen, her tea forgotten, feeling something cold settle in her chest. He didn't care that she'd been hurt. He only cared about appearances. That's all she was to him. A tool, an asset, nothing human. The realization should have made her hate him, and part of her did. But another part, the part that noticed how he'd verified her story when he could have just killed her. The part that noticed he'd given her work instead of imprisonment. The part that noticed he always made sure she had food, clothes, everything she needed. That part was confused. Because Jum Tae-jin was a monster, a criminal, a man who'd threatened to make her disappear. But he was also the only person standing between her and Damien. And Serena didn't know how to feel about that. A week passed by, and the nightmare came at 3 a.m. Serena woke up gasping, Damien's hands around her throat, his weight crushing her chest. Except she was alone in bed, in her locked room. Safe. She pressed her hands to her face. Her whole body shook. It was just a dream, just a nightmare. Damien was in Chicago. She was in Seoul. He couldn't hurt her here, but her body didn't believe it. Her heart raced. Her breath came in short gasps. Panic attack. She was having a panic attack. Serena stumbled out of bed, went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on her face. It didn't help. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The walls were closing in. She needed out, needed air, needed... She went to the door, pressed her ear against it, listened. Silence. Was Minseo even out there anymore? She had slightly more freedom now. Maybe they'd stopped posting guards. Serena tried the handle. Locked. Of course it was locked. She slammed her palm against the door. Once, twice, not trying to break through, just needing to hit something. "Stop." The voice came from right outside the door. Not Minseo. Jum Tae-jin. "What are you doing awake?" His voice was muffled by the door but audible. Serena pressed her forehead against the steel. "I can't breathe. I need air." Silence. Then the sound of locks disengaging. The door opened. Jum Tae-jin stood in the hallway in black sleep pants and a t-shirt. No suit, no armor, just a man who looked like he'd been working late. "Panic attack," he said. Not a question, an observation. Serena nodded. She was shaking, her breath coming in gas. He studied her for a moment, then stepped aside. Walk. What? Walk. Movement helps. He gestured down the hallway. Go. Serena hesitated. This felt like a trap, but she also felt like she was dying. She stepped into the hallway, started walking. Jum Tae-jin walked beside her, not touching, not speaking, just present. They walked the length of the hallway, down the stairs, through corridors Serena had never seen before. Her breathing started to slow. The panic started to recede. Better? Jum Tae-jin asked after 10 minutes. Serena nodded. Yes, thank you. Don't thank me. If you have a breakdown and can't work, you're useless. Always business, always cold, but he'd helped her anyway. They walked back to her room in silence. At the door, Serena paused. Do you ever sleep? No. The answer was flat, final. He opened her door, gestured for her to go inside. Serena did. The door started to close. He'll come for you. Jum Tae-jin's voice stopped her. She turned. What? Your ex-boyfriend, Damien. Men like him don't give up. His eyes were dark, unreadable. He'll find out where you are, and he'll come. Serena's blood went cold. You said I was safe here. You are, as long as you're useful to me. He leaned against the doorframe. But when he comes, and he will come, you'll see what happens to people who threaten my assets. He said it so casually, like he was discussing the weather. Serena's voice came out barely a whisper. What does that mean? Jum Tae-jin smiled. It was the most terrifying expression she'd ever seen. It means I don't share, and I don't let people take what's mine. Then he closed the door, locked it, and Serena stood in her gilded cage, her heart pounding for an entirely different reason now. Serena fell into a routine. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. It was almost normal. If she ignored the armed guards, the locked doors, the man who owned her life. Jum Tae-jin appeared less frequently now. She'd proven herself useful, reliable, so he'd given her longer hours, more responsibilities. She was translating a shipment manifest when the door to her workspace opened. Not Jum Tae-jin, someone new, a man in his late 20s, Korean, expensive suit, handsome in a softer way than Jum Tae-jin. He smiled when he saw her. You must be Serena. I'm Han-wol. I handle the European accounts. His English was perfect, accent barely noticeable. Serena nodded cautiously. Hello. I wanted to introduce myself. We'll be working together on the London shipment. He crossed the room, sat in the chair across from her desk. How are you adjusting? Seoul must be very different from Chicago. It's fine. Just fine? He smiled. Come on. You can be honest. This place is a prison pretending to be an office. I've worked here 3 years. I know. Serena didn't know what to say. Was this a test? Was he reporting back to Jum Tae-jin? Han-wol must have sensed her hesitation. I'm not spying for Tae-jin. I'm just being friendly. Not many people here speak English well. I thought you might want someone to talk to. He seemed genuine, and God, Serena did want someone to talk to, someone who wasn't Min Seo or Jum Tae-jin. It's been an adjustment, she admitted carefully. I bet. Han-wol leaned back. How did you end up here anyway? Tae-jin doesn't usually hire foreigners, especially not in sensitive positions. It's complicated. Everything with Tae-jin is complicated. Han-wol's smile turned knowing. But you must be special. He doesn't keep people around unless they're very useful or very interesting. Before Serena could respond, the door opened again. Jum Tae-jin stepped in. His eyes went immediately to Han-wol. Something cold flashed across his face. Han-wol, I didn't realize you had time for socializing. It was said pleasantly, but the threat underneath was clear. Han-wol stood smoothly. Just introducing myself to our new translator. We're working the London deal together. Not anymore. Min Seo will handle London. Jum Tae-jin's eyes never left Han-wol. You're reassigned to Tokyo. But I've been building the London contacts for months. And now Min Seo will finish it. Tokyo needs your attention. Leave. It wasn't a request. Han-wol's jaw tightened, but he nodded, glanced at Serena. Nice meeting you. Then he left. The door closed. Silence filled the room. Jum Tae-jin walked to Serena's desk, looked down at her. He was flirting with you. Serena blinked. What? No, he wasn't. He was just being friendly. He was flirting, and you were responding. I was being polite. You were smiling, because he was nice to me, which is more than I can say for... Serena stopped, bit her tongue. Too late. Jum Tae-jin's expression didn't change, but something in his eyes went very cold. Finish that sentence. Nothing. I didn't mean, you think I'm not nice to you? He said it like he was stating a fact. You think I'm cruel, a monster. You literally threatened to kill me, and I gave you a job, a place to live, protection from a man who tried to strangle you. He leaned down, hands on her desk, bringing his face level with hers. I could have put you on a plane back to Chicago. Let Damien finish what he started. Instead, I kept you here, kept you safe, and you think I'm not nice. Serena's heart hammered. He was so close. She could see the exact shade of his eyes, could smell his cologne, that cold winter forest scent. You're holding me prisoner, she whispered. I'm keeping you alive. His voice was soft, dangerous. Everything I do is keeping you alive. The locked door, the guards, the rules, all of it. Because if I let you run free, you'd be dead within a week. You don't know that. I know exactly that. I've seen what men like Damien do when they don't get what they want. I've cleaned up the aftermath. His eyes bore into hers. You think I'm a monster? I'm the monster keeping worse monsters away from you. Remember that. He straightened, adjusted his cuffs. His mask of control slipped back into place. Don't speak to Han Wool again. Don't speak to any of my men unless it's directly work-related, and don't test my patience. He walked to the door, paused. You're mine to protect. That means you're mine to control. Get used to it. Then he was gone. Serena sat frozen at her desk. He'd sounded almost jealous, but that was insane. Jum Tae-jin didn't care about her beyond her usefulness. He'd said so himself. She was an asset, nothing more, except the way he'd looked at her just now, the way his voice had dropped when he said, "You're mine." Serena pressed her hands to her face. This was getting complicated, and she had a terrible feeling it was about to get much worse. Serena stopped counting the days. What was the point? She wasn't going anywhere. Jum Tae-jin had made that abundantly clear. She worked. She translated. She pretended everything was normal while living in a criminal empire on the other side of the world from home. The routine should have been numbing, should have made her compliant. Instead, it sharpened her awareness of every detail, every guard rotation, every security protocol, every moment when Jum Tae-jin's attention was elsewhere. Because Serena was done being a prisoner, she was planning to escape, not immediately, not recklessly, but she was watching, learning, waiting for the right moment. The problem was Jum Tae-jin. He appeared at random times, checked her work unpredictably, always watching, always assessing, and lately he'd been watching more intensely. Ever since the Hanwol incident 2 weeks ago, Jum Tae-jin had been different, more present, more controlling. He'd started eating dinner with her, in her room, just the two of them. He'd bring food from the kitchen and sit across from her in silence while they ate. It was deeply weird. Serena tried to ask once why he was doing it. He'd responded, "Making sure you eat. Can't have my translator collapsing from malnutrition." Always business, always practical, except sometimes she'd catch him staring at her, not in the clinical assessing way, in a different way, like he was trying to figure something out. It made her uncomfortable, and something else she didn't want to examine. Tonight was another forced dinner. Jum Tae-jin sat across from her, eating in silence. Serena pushed rice around her plate. "You're not eating," he observed. "Not hungry." "Eat anyway." Serena put her fork down. "Can I ask you something?" He looked up. "If you must." "Why are you really keeping me here?" She met his eyes. "And don't say it's because I'm useful. You could hire a dozen translators who don't come with my baggage. So why?" Jum Tae-jin was quiet for a long moment. Then he set down his chopsticks. "You want the truth?" "Yes." "You're a test case." Serena blinked. "What?" "I have enemies. Powerful enemies. They've tried to infiltrate my organization 17 times in the past 2 years. Sent spies, assassins, plants. All of them failed because I saw them coming." He leaned back. "But you appeared in my trunk. Completely. Unexpected. With a story that checked out. And I realized something." "What?" "That the best way to spot a threat is to create a controlled environment. Keep the unknown variable close. Watch how they behave. See if they reveal themselves." His eyes never left hers. "You're that variable. If you're a spy, you'll slip eventually. If you're genuine, you'll prove useful. Either way, I learned something valuable." Serena's blood ran cold. "So I'm an experiment." "You're a strategic decision." "That's disgusting." That's survival. He picked up his chopsticks again. In my world, trust gets you killed. So I don't trust anyone. I just watch and wait and eliminate threats before they eliminate me. I'm not a threat. Maybe, maybe not. He took a bite of food. Time will tell. Serena stood abruptly. I can't do this anymore. Sit down. No, I'm done. I'm done being your prisoner and your science experiment and your... Gyum Taijin stood. The movement was fluid, controlled, but there was something dangerous in it. You're done when I say you're done. His voice was soft, lethal. Sit down. Or what? You'll kill me? You've been threatening that for weeks, so either do it or let me go. She didn't see him move. One moment he was on the other side of the table. The next he was in front of her, his hand wrapped around her wrist, not painfully, but immovable. Don't, he said quietly. Test me. You won't like what happens. Serena tried to pull away. His grip tightened just slightly. A reminder of who had the power here. Let go of me. When you calm down, I am calm. You're spiraling. I can see it. You're planning something stupid. His eyes searched her face. What are you planning, Serena? Nothing. Liar. If I'm such a threat, why haven't you gotten rid of me yet? She threw the words at him like weapons. You said you eliminate threats, so why am I still here? Something flickered in his expression, something that looked almost like conflict. Then it was gone. He released her wrist, stepped back. Because, he said quietly, you're not the threat I thought you were. You're something else entirely, and I haven't decided what to do about that yet. Before Serena could respond, his phone rang. He answered in Korean. His expression changed, darkened. He spoke rapidly, listened, then hung up. When he looked at Serena again, his eyes were chips of ice. We have a problem. Gyum Taijin led Serena to his office on the 35th floor. She'd never been here before. The room was massive, floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, screens showing security feeds from around the building. Min-seo was already there, and two other men Serena recognized as high-ranking members of Gyum Taijin's organization. Everyone looked tense. Gyum Taijin gestured to a chair. Sit. Serena sat, her heart pounded. He pulled up something on his computer, turned the screen toward her. It was a photograph, taken from security footage. A man in an airport. American airport. LAX. Damien. Serena's blood turned to ice. He left Chicago 3 days ago. Gyum Taijin said. He flew to Los Angeles, then to Tokyo. This morning he arrived in Seoul. No. Serena's voice came out strangled. That's impossible. How would he even know I'm here? That's what we're trying to figure out. Gyum Taijin pulled up more images. Damien at a hotel. Damien meeting with someone in a cafe. He's not alone. He's contacted local fixers, hired muscle. He's preparing for something. He's coming for me. Obviously. Serena stood on shaking legs. You have to let me leave. If he finds me here, everyone's in danger. Sit down. You don't understand. Damien is... I understand perfectly. Gyum Taijin's voice was ice. Your ex-boyfriend is a mid-level investment banker with anger issues and stalker tendencies. He's hired some local thugs who are barely competent, and he thinks he can walk into my territory and take what's mine. The way he said, mine, sent a shiver down Serena's spine. He's not a threat to me. Gyum Taijin continued. He's an inconvenience, and I deal with inconveniences efficiently. What does that mean? It means when he comes, and he will come, he'll disappear. Permanently. His eyes were flat, cold. No one takes my assets, no one threatens my operations, and no one walks into my home and walks out alive. Serena felt sick. You're going to kill him. I'm going to eliminate a threat. There's a difference. No, there's not. Serena's voice rose. You're talking about murder? I'm talking about survival. Gyum Taijin stood, walked around the desk until he was in front of her. You think he came here to talk? To apologize? He came to kill you, Serena. Or drag you back to Chicago and finish what he started. So yes, I'm going to kill him first. And you're going to let me. I can't be responsible for someone's death. Then don't be. His hand came up to her chin, tilted her face up to meet his eyes. I'll be responsible. I'll carry that weight. You just stay alive. That's all I ask. The touch was gentle. His words were not. Serena pulled away. Why do you even care? I'm just an asset, just a test case. So why risk your people to protect me? Gyum Taijin's jaw tightened. For a moment, he looked like he was going to say something. Then he turned away. Min-seo, double security on all floors. eyes on every entrance. If Damien Pierce gets within a block of this building, I want to know immediately. Minso nodded and left with the other men. Serena and Guillaume Taijin were alone. You didn't answer my question. Serena said quietly, I don't owe you answers. You owe me something. You've controlled every aspect of my life for a month. The least you can do is tell me why. He was silent for a long moment, then, because I don't like loose ends. And you're a loose end I can't tie off. What does that mean? It means you were supposed to be simple. A potential threat I'd verify and eliminate or send home, but you're not simple, you're... He stopped, his hands clenched into fists. You're complicated, and I don't do complicated. Then let me go. No. Why not? Because... He turned to face her, and for the first time since she'd met him, his mask cracked, just slightly. Because if I let you go, he'll kill you, and I can't... He stopped, seemed to catch himself. Serena's heart pounded. You can't what? Nothing. Forget it. His mask slammed back into place. You're staying here, under guard, until I deal with Damien. That's final. He walked toward the door. Taijin. He stopped. She'd never used his first name before, always his full name or nothing. He looked back at her. Why do you really care if I live or die? Her voice was barely a whisper. His eyes met hers, dark, intense, full of something she couldn't read. Because, he said quietly, you're the first person in 10 years who looked at me and didn't see a monster. You see a man who's cruel and controlling and dangerous, but you don't see a monster. And He stopped again. I don't know what to do with that. Then he left, and Serena stood in his office, her world tilting. 2 days later, Damien struck at dawn. Serena was asleep when the alarms went off. Blaring, urgent, she bolted upright, the door burst open. Minseo. Get up, now. What's happening? He's here, your ex-boyfriend. He brought friends. Minso pulled her out of bed. We're moving you to the safe room. They ran through hallways. Other guards were mobilizing, weapons drawn. Serena's heart hammered. How did Damien get in? This building was a fortress, unless someone let him in. They reached the safe room. A reinforced panic room on the 32nd floor. Minseo shoved her inside. Stay here. Don't open the door for anyone except me or Taijin. The door closed, locked from the outside. Serena was alone in the small room. Concrete walls, no windows, a single light overhead. She could hear muffled sounds, shouting, gunfire. Oh God, gunfire! People were going to die because of her, because Damien was insane and Jum Taijin was ruthless and she was caught between them. Time crawled. 5 minutes, 10, 20, then silence. Absolute silence. Serena pressed her ear to the door. Nothing. Then footsteps, getting closer. The lock disengaged. The door opened. Jum Taijin stood there, blood on his knuckles, his suit jacket gone, his white shirt torn and stained. It's over, he said. Is he dead? No, but he will be. Jum Taijin's eyes were cold, empty. Come, there's something you need to see. He led her through the building, past guards cleaning up, past walls with bullet holes, past evidence of violence. They took the elevator down, not to the ground floor, below it to a basement Serena didn't know existed. The elevator opened into a concrete corridor, industrial, cold. They walked to a room at the end. Inside was Damien, tied to a chair, bleeding, conscious, but barely. Serena stopped in the doorway. Her whole body went cold. Serena! Damien's voice was weak, desperate. Baby, please! Tell him to let me go. I came to save you. You came to kill her, Jum Taijin said flatly. He walked to Damien, crouched in front of him. You broke into my building with 6 men, armed. Serena's stomach turned. You were going to kill me? Damien's eyes filled with tears. I loved you. I did everything for you. And you left me. You humiliated me, made me look weak. So yes, if I couldn't have you, no one could. The casual way he said it, like it was logical. Jum Taijin stood, pulled a gun from his waistband, checked the chamber. No. Serena stepped forward. Don't. Why not? Jum Taijin didn't look at her. He just admitted he was going to kill you. He brought armed men into my home. He's a threat. Threats get eliminated. Please. Serena's voice broke. Don't make me watch this. Don't make me responsible. You're not responsible. I am. He raised the gun. aimed at Damien's head. Taejin, please. He tried to kill you, Serena. Taejin's voice cracked, just slightly. He strangled you. He chased you into a trunk where you could have suffocated. He tracked you across the world, and he was going to kill you. So give me one good reason why he deserves to live. Serena's mind raced. She had no good reason. Damien didn't deserve mercy, but she couldn't watch someone die. Because, she whispered, if you kill him, you're proving him right. You're proving you're the monster everyone thinks you are, and her voice broke. I don't want to believe that's all you are. Taejin's hand wavered, just slightly. Then he lowered the gun. Fine. He turned to Minseo, who'd appeared in the doorway. Call the Americans. Tell them we have a fugitive who violated international law. Let them deal with him. Minseo nodded. Taejin walked past Serena, out of the room. She followed. In the corridor, he stopped. His shoulders were tense. His hands were shaking. Thank you, Serena said quietly. Don't thank me. His voice was rough. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to put a bullet in his head and make you watch so you'd understand what I do to people who threaten what's mine. But you... He turned to face her. You looked at me like I was still human, and I couldn't... He stopped. His jaw worked. Serena stepped closer. You are human. No, I'm not. He laughed bitterly. I've killed 17 people, Serena. 17. I've laundered money for cartels, trafficked weapons, destroyed lives. I'm everything you should be afraid of. I'm afraid of you. Good. You should be. But I also... Serena's heart pounded. I also see someone who saved my life, who kept me safe when he didn't have to, who gave me work and protection, and... Don't. Taejin's voice was sharp. Don't romanticize what I am. I kept you here because you were useful. Nothing more. Then why did your hand shake when you pointed that gun at Damien? He went still. Why did you hesitate? Serena pressed. Why did you listen to me? You don't listen to anyone. You said so yourself, so why did you listen to me? Because, his voice dropped to almost a whisper, because when you look at me, I want to be the man you see, even though I know I'm not, even though I know I never will be, and He stopped. I've never wanted that before. I've never cared what anyone thought of me, but you... He didn't finish. Serena's breath caught. Taejin, don't. He stepped back. Don't say whatever you're about to say, because we both know this can't, whatever this is, it can't happen. You're leaving as soon as I arrange your paperwork, going back to America, to your real life, and what if I don't want to leave? The words hung in the air. Taejin stared at her. What? What if I don't want to go back? Serena's voice was stronger now. What if I want to stay here, work for you, actually work for you, not as a prisoner, but as... Don't finish that sentence. His voice was strained. You don't know what you're saying. Yes, I do. No, you don't. He moved closer, close enough that she had to tilt her head back. You're experiencing Stockholm Syndrome, trauma bonding. Your mind is confusing safety with... He stopped. With something it's not. Is that what this is for you? Serena asked. Trauma bonding? An asset that got complicated? Yes. Liar. His jaw clenched. Serena, tell me the truth. She placed her hand on his chest, felt his heart hammering. Tell me why you really kept me here. Why you eat dinner with me every night. Why you walk with me when I have panic attacks. Why you're shaking right now. Tell me the truth. The truth? His hand came up to cover hers. The truth is, I haven't slept more than 2 hours a night since you got here because I'm terrified someone will get past my security and hurt you. The truth is, I reassigned Hanwol because seeing him make you smile made me want to break his jaw. The truth is, every time you walk into a room, I forget how to breathe. And the truth is... He stopped. His control was fracturing. The truth is what? Serena whispered. The truth is, I'm falling in love with you, and it's destroying me because I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to be anything except what I am. And what I am will eventually hurt you. So the kindest thing I can do is let you go, before I ruin you the way I ruin everything else. Serena's breath caught. You won't ruin me. You don't know that. Yes, I do. She stepped closer. Because you're not the monster you think you are. You're a man who's done terrible things to survive. But that's not all you are. I've seen you, the real you, and She didn't finish, because Taejin's control finally snapped. He kissed her. It wasn't gentle, it was desperate, fierce, like he was drowning and she was air. Serena kissed him back, poured everything she couldn't say. into it. All the fear and anger and confusion and something else. Something that felt dangerously like love. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Tae-jin rested his forehead against hers. "This is a mistake," he whispered. "Probably. I'm going to hurt you. Maybe you should run while you still can." "I don't want to run." Serena's hands fisted in his shirt. "I want to stay. He kissed her again, softer this time, but no less intense. "You're sure?" he asked against her lips. "Yes. Because if you stay, if you choose this, there's no going back. You'll be mine, completely. And I don't share. I don't let go. I know." Serena met his eyes. "I know exactly what I'm choosing, and I'm choosing you." Something in his expression cracked. Relief, wonder, fear. "Come with me," he said. He led her to the elevator, up to the 30th floor, to his private quarters, a space she'd never seen. The door closed behind them, and everything that had been building for a month finally exploded. The next morning, Serena woke, wrapped in expensive sheets. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows. For a moment, she didn't remember where she was. Then she felt the warm body beside her, felt the arm around her waist. Tae-jin. Last night came back in flashes. The kiss, the way he'd looked at her like she was something precious. The way he'd been gentle and fierce and vulnerable all at once. She'd seen him without his armor, without his control. Just a man who was terrified of what he felt. Serena turned in his arms. He was awake, watching her with those dark eyes. "Regrets?" he asked quietly. "No." "You?" "No." His hand came up to her face, traced her cheekbone. "But I meant what I said. If you stay, you're mine. I won't let you go. Ever." "Good." Serena pressed a kiss to his palm. "Because I'm not going anywhere." Something in his expression softened. "I don't know how to do this. How to be... You don't have to be anything except yourself. Myself is a killer and a criminal. Yourself is also the man who saved my life, who kept me safe, who's looking at me right now like I'm the most important thing in the world." Serena's voice was firm. "You're complicated, Tae-jin, but so am I, and I'm choosing you anyway." He pulled her closer, buried his face in her hair. "I'll fail you, eventually. Then I'll be there to catch you." They stayed like that for a long time, until the real world intruded, until responsibility called. But something had shifted, something fundamental. Tae-jin stood, started getting dressed. Serena watched him transform back into the controlled, dangerous man the world saw. But now she knew what was underneath. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now?" He buttoned his shirt. "Now I deal with the Americans, arrange Damien's extradition, handle the damage from yesterday's attack, and I work, like you said." Serena stood, wrapped herself in a sheet. "I translate. I coordinate. I make myself useful." "You're already useful." "As an employee?" "As mine." He crossed to her, tilted her chin up. "You work for me because you choose to, not because I'm forcing you. You stay because you want to, not because you're trapped. Understood?" "Understood." "Good." He kissed her, soft and possessive. "I have meetings all day, but tonight we'll have dinner, like normal. Nothing about us is normal. Then we'll have abnormal dinner." He almost smiled. "I'll see you tonight." And he left. Serena stood in his bedroom, their bedroom, and tried to process everything that had changed. She'd come to Seoul in a trunk, terrified, running for her life, and somehow she'd ended up here, in love with a man who was dangerous and complicated and entirely wrong for her, but also entirely right. She didn't know what the future held, didn't know if this would last or fall apart, but for the first time in years, she felt like she was choosing her own path, and that was worth everything. 3 months passed and everything was going well until the knock on Tae-jin's office door was sharp, urgent. "Come," he said without looking up from his paperwork. Seo entered. His face was pale. "We have a situation." Tae-jin looked up. "What kind of situation?" "It's about Serena's background check, the deep one we ran when she first arrived." "What about it?" Seo hesitated, then placed a folder on the desk. "You need to see this." Tae-jin opened the folder. His eyes scanned the documents, then froze. "What is this?" "Records from the NIS, National Intelligence Service, your father's old division." Seo's voice was strained. "Specifically Project Nightingale, a deep cover operation from 25 years ago. Gyum Tae-jin's blood went cold. My father ran Project Nightingale. He died because someone betrayed him. Yes. Min-seo pointed to a document. This is the personnel file for the interpreter assigned to your father's team, the one who facilitated communications with international assets. Gyum Tae-jin looked at the document, at the photograph, at the woman who looked exactly like Serena, 30 years older, same eyes, same face. Amara is, Min-seo said, Serena's mother. She worked for your father. Gyum Tae-jin's mind raced. That's impossible. The interpreter who worked with my father, she died. They told me she died in the same attack that killed him. She disappeared. There's a difference. Min-seo pulled out another document. She went into witness protection, changed her name, moved to America, had a daughter 3 years later. Serena. Yes. Gyum Tae-jin stood. His whole world was tilting. Are you telling me? I'm telling you that Serena's mother worked for your father, that she was there the night he died, and that according to these records, Min-seo's voice dropped. She's the one who gave the intel that led to his assassination. No. Gyum Tae-jin's voice was flat. That's wrong. My father was betrayed by someone in the Seoul office, not by... The Seoul office betrayal was a cover story. The real leak came from Amara Ez. She gave operational details to a rival organization in exchange for a safe passage to America. Your father died because of her. Min-seo paused. And Serena is her daughter. Gyum Tae-jin sank into his chair. His mind was spinning. Serena, the woman he loved, the woman who'd climbed into his trunk, the woman who'd appeared in his life like a ghost, was the daughter of the woman who'd killed his father? There's more, Min-seo said quietly. How can there possibly be more? Damian Pierce, Serena's ex-boyfriend. Min-seo pulled out another document. He's not just an investment banker. He's CIA, assigned to a deep cover operation called Echo Network. What does Echo Network do? Tracks and neutralizes organized crime networks with ties to former intelligence assets. Min-seo's face was grim. Networks like yours, specifically targeting operations inherited from NIS agents who went rogue, like your father. Gyum Tae-jin's blood turned to ice. You're saying Damien was assigned to get close to Serena, use her connection to her mother, find out what Amara Ez knew about your father's operations, and through that, Min-seo paused, find you. Serena doesn't know anything about my father. She doesn't even know her mother worked for the NIS. Are you sure? The question hung in the air. Gyum Tae-jin thought about the past 3 months, about how Serena had appeared in his trunk, about how she'd told him exactly what he needed to hear, about how she looked at him like he was human, about how she'd made him fall in love with her. Oh God, he whispered, it was planned, all of it, the trunk, the story about running from Damien, everything. We don't know that for certain. She knew. Gyum Tae-jin's voice was hollow. She knew who I was. She knew about my father. She climbed into that trunk on purpose. Or, Min-seo said carefully, she's completely innocent, and this is all coincidence. There are no coincidences in my world. Then what do you want to do? Gyum Tae-jin stared at the documents, at the photograph of Amara Ez, at the truth that was destroying everything. Bring her here, he said quietly. I need to hear her say it. 30 minutes later, Serena walked into Gyum Tae-jin's office with a smile. They'd had lunch plans, but one look at his face and her smile died. What's wrong? He didn't answer, just gestured to the chair. Sit. Something in his tone made her blood run cold. This wasn't her lover. This was the man who'd pointed a gun at her in a trunk 4 months ago. Serena sat. Tae-jin, you're scaring me. Tell me about your mother. Serena blinked. What? Your mother? Amara Ease. What did she do for a living? She was a teacher. Why? Try again. I don't understand. He slid a photograph across the desk. Serena looked at it. Her mother, 20 years younger, in a military-style uniform. Where did you get this? Serena's voice shook. From my father's personnel files, your mother worked for him, for the NIS, as an interpreter. Gyum Tae-jin's voice was flat, cold. She was part of Project Nightingale, a black ops division, and 25 years ago she betrayed him, gave intelligence to his enemies, got him killed. Serena's world spun. That's not... My mother was a teacher. Your mother was a spy, and so are you. What? No. Serena stood. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me. Jum Tae-jin's voice cracked. Damian Pierce is CIA. He was assigned to you, to use your connection to your mother to find me, and you... His laugh was bitter. You played your part perfectly. The terrified victim, the woman in the trunk. You made me fall in love with you, so I'd let my guard down. So I'd tell you things, trust you, and all along... That's not true. Tears streamed down Serena's face. I didn't know. I didn't know any of this. Then explain to me how you ended up in my trunk. The one night I was in Chicago, the one car with diplomatic immunity, the perfect storm of coincidences. His eyes were dead, empty. Explain it. I can't. I don't know. I climbed into a trunk to hide from Damian, and Damian is CIA, assigned to me, using you. Jum Tae-jin stood, walked around the desk. So either you're a spy, or you're a pawn. Either way, you're a threat. Tae-jin, please. Serena's voice broke. You know me. You know I would never... I don't know anything anymore. He was so close now, close enough that she could see the pain in his eyes beneath the ice. Did you mean any of it? The nights together, the words, the way you looked at me? Was any of it real? All of it was real. Serena grabbed his arms. I love you. I swear to God, I love you. Love. He laughed bitterly. You don't even know what that word means. You're a trained operative. You've been playing me. I'm not. I didn't know about my mother. I didn't know about Damian. I didn't know anything. She was sobbing now. My mother died when I was 17. She never told me anything about her past. I thought she was a teacher. Just a teacher. I swear that's what I thought. Jum Tae-jin searched her face, looking for lies, for truth. Please, Serena whispered. Please believe me. I didn't know. I didn't know who you were or who your father was or any of it. I just wanted to escape. And I climbed into a trunk, and I met you, and I fell in love. That's the truth. I swear on my life that's the truth. He was quiet for a long moment, then he stepped back. I want to believe you. Then believe me. But I can't. His voice cracked. Because in my world, trust gets you killed, and you're the daughter of the woman who killed my father. Even if you didn't know, even if you're innocent, that doesn't change what you are, what you represent. What I represent. Serena's voice rose. I represent the woman you love, the woman you said was yours. Or was that a lie? Was any of it real for you? All of it was real. That's the problem. He turned away. Minseo will take you to a safe house. You'll stay there while I investigate, while I verify your story. You're locking me up again. I'm keeping you safe, from my enemies, from yourself, from me. He looked at her over his shoulder. Because if you're lying, if any of this was a manipulation, I will kill you, Serena. I will put a bullet in your head and never think about it again. Do you understand? Serena's heart shattered. I understand. Minseo appeared in the doorway. Sir, take her to the Incheon safe house. Full security. No one in or out without my authorization. Yes, sir. Serena looked at Jum Tae-jin one last time. I love you. That's real. Whatever happens next, please remember that was real. He didn't respond, just turned his back, and Serena was led away, again. The safe house was a prison dressed as a luxury apartment. Serena spent 7 days going insane. No phone, no internet, no contact with anyone except the guards who brought food. She thought about everything. About her mother, about the photograph, about the possibility that her entire life had been a lie. Her mother had been a spy, had worked for Jum Tae-jin's father, had betrayed him, and somehow Serena had ended up in Jum Tae-jin's trunk. Was it really coincidence, or was there something deeper? On the 7th night, Serena was trying to sleep when she heard it. Gunfire, muffled, distant, but unmistakable. She bolted upright, listened. More gunfire. Closer now. Someone was attacking the safe house. The door burst open. Not a guard, someone in black tactical gear. Serena scrambled back. Who? The figure pulled off their mask. A woman, Korean, mid-50s, sharp features. Serena is... The woman's English was accented but perfect. You look just like your mother. Who are you? Someone who knew Amara. Someone who knows the truth. She extended a hand. Come with me if you want to live, and if you want answers. Serena hesitated. This could be a trap. Could be another manipulation. But staying here meant waiting for Jum Tae-jin to decide her fate. She took the woman's hand. They ran through the safe house, past dead guards, past evidence of a professional extraction. Outside, a car waited. Serena was shoved into the back. The woman climbed in front. "Drive," she ordered. The car took off. Serena's heart hammered. "Where are we going?" "Somewhere Tae-jin won't find you. Somewhere we can talk." The woman looked back at her. "My name is Director Kang. I ran Project Nightingale. I was your mother's handler, and I'm the one who's going to tell you the truth about why you ended up in that trunk." "What truth?" "The truth that changes everything." Director Kang's smile was sharp. "The truth that Tae-jin isn't who he thinks he is, and neither are you."